Mike's Daily Podcast.
Okay, all week I've had to deal with other people. Now it's time.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's time for Mike to have his time to shine. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. I try to do this every day, but then something happens that gets in my way. And it was something that I'm going to try to change in the future. Try to rearrange. It's strange. I get the mange, even though I don't have hair.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's kind of scary. This is episode 2375. No, I don't get with the mange because I don't have hair on my head.
Mike's
Although I do have it
Daily
on my face.
Podcast.
And I'm thinking of getting rid of it.
Yeah!
Because I've had it for a while. It's gray. I'm sick of it now. My mom has seen it. She saw it in October. My lovely lady friend has dealt with it. She likes it, but I think I'm about ready to get rid of it. I've had it for a year. That's long enough. So we'll see how it goes. That's one change. Another is yours truly. Oh, by the way, on my way into work today, I had to deal with a traffic jam on the Dublin grade. Well, actually, let's put it this way. 580 was completely shut down. Nothing was going either direction. Some kind of crash. So frustrating. I got on the freeway. I'm going to do this from now on. I'm going to check Google Maps before I leave. Anytime I'm going to hit a freeway, I'm going to look at Google Maps first. Because particularly about the Dublin grade, there's only two ways through the Dublin grade. There's 580 and then Dublin Canyon Boulevard. And then that's it. So what was happening was they were taking everybody off of 580 onto this little 2-lane road. And both directions, it got clogged up. It was horrible. So it took me...
And here's today's podcast picture.
What's usually a 15-minute drive took an hour and a half. And I hate that. I hate that about California. I hate that about the Bay Area. So, in conclusion, and I used to run into this issue heading up to Santa Barbara when I lived down in Ventura, California, IA. I would be driving, I commuted up to UCSB for 2 years. And I had to drive up from Oxnard up through 101, the one. They merge together and they go along Pacific Coast Highway there. Oh, Basil never saw. The late great Basil the Boxer. He never got to see that part of California. Sadly, we never drove down there. We should have taken a road trip, but we never did. We never did. We took lots of road trips, but we never went down that far south. I think the furthest south we went was Monterey and Carmel, which was very nice. Okay, I think I had a fire last week. Big Sur had a fire and the smoke went up into Carmel and poor Carmelians had to deal with that. But I think everything's fine now. Okay, anyway, Cafe Anyway. I would, driving to UCSB, as I went to UC Santa Barbara for 4 years. The first 2 years I commuted, and I would get stuck sometimes on this horrible traffic on 101. And if 101 shut down, if that little rivulet along the Southern California Riviera got shut down, you had to go inland to Ojai and through this incredibly long drive past Lake Cachuma and all the rest. Or was it Casitas? Shoot, I think it was Lake Casitas now that I think of it. So, Cafe Anyway. It'd be a lot. So, I hate traffic jams. I know you do too. So a picture, the podcast picture today is a little picture I took. I saw a nice sight. Despite all the craziness on 580. Do you know what I did? Don't tell the police, but I got off the freeway going down the on-ramp. And you're not supposed to do that. I did it though, and so did like 100 other people. So just the local police and CHP did not have this down. They did not fix this right. It was awful and a crazy day. All right. Also, this week, one of the reasons why I could not bring you a podcast. I wanted to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wanted to bring you a podcast every single day. Every single day I was thwarted. Numerous reasons, but the main reason being one of my coworkers was out. And part of my job description is that I am supposed to do his job when he is out on vacation. And he was out for an entire week. And that, I found out, is impossible to do because my job as a manager takes all my time already. I'm dealing with employees that have a lot of things come up, random things come up. They are completely, every day is a new challenge, an unexpected thing here and there and everywhere, and nobody gives me a break on that job, on the manager job. So now I'm doing this other guy's job who also has a bunch of stuff to do. And it was impossible. I tried to take some of what he does and give it to my employees, disperse it. But like one guy doesn't check his work. He does not check his work. I have to constantly get on him to check his work, and he never checks it. If he would just check his work. I've said it to him over and over again, but he doesn't. And he looks at his phone a lot, and he's in his 30s, and he looks at his phone a lot. And the other day I walked in, I saw him on his phone, and he hadn't checked his work, which is meaning every time he doesn't check his work, that means more work for me. And I told him that. You know, every time you don't do something right, I got to do twice the work. And I saw him on his phone. I go, I'm going to throw your phone right out the window. I said it like a okay boomer. I said it like a 53-year-old, which I am, with the gray beard. I said, I'm going to throw your phone out the window, which the window doesn't open because we're in an office building. You know how that is. So, to sum up, I cannot do this job, my job, and the other guy's job simultaneously. It cannot happen. So this other guy, next time he's off, he's got to groom somebody else to do it because this was just too much. Just check your work, people. Check your work. That's all you got to do. That's probably as we go outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10, the last place on earth. That is the biggest downfall of the younger generation is they don't check their work. They think they do it right the first time and they don't have to check it. But you always have to. Always. And it's not, if anybody younger than me, and including me, but here's the thing, I'm very overchecky. I overcheck everything, and it wastes a lot of my time because I'm too thorough. But somebody I worked with years ago, because I had this problem when I was younger, he said, Mike, I'm going to change your name. Your name's going to be Double Check, because you're going to double check everything, that you don't make a mistake. Double check. So if we just overcheck, we'll probably be in the right area. All right. Enough of me complaining about that. Here's the thing, though, is I am very, after this very difficult week. Oh, and I get this. I kicked off the week by getting my booster. Yes, I got my booster shot on Monday. And all week, I felt tired. All week, I was trying to recuperate. But I couldn't, because I was doing 2 jobs at once. And I told everybody, hey, give me a break, because I got this other job I'm doing. No, did they? They made it worse. So, anyway, with the booster, with being tired, with trying to do 2 jobs at the same time, with everything else piled on top of everything else, it was not a good week, and I could not bring you a podcast. I'm sorry. And to try and make up for it, I'm going to try and do podcast every single day. By the way, I'm going to be on the radio one last time doing this Sunday show, this 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. show playing 70s, 80s, and 90s music, which, by the way, I did not realize that the lead singer of Manfred Mann's Earth Band, or Manfred Mann, it's just called Manfred Mann, but it's not a guy, Manfred Mann. I mean, the band is called Manfred Mann, but the lead singer is not Manfred Mann. His name was Mark or Mike Diabo. I did not realize till today, was the father of Olivia Diabo, who was on The Wonder Years, was the sister on The Wonder Years, the blonde. And she used to be my dad's neighbor years ago. Now, I don't know if the guy's ex-wife, who was the lead singer of Manfred Mann, was the same woman, the mother of Olivia Diabo. I don't know if it's the same woman as, but Olivia Diabo's mom used to bug my dad mercilessly because she was a real estate agent, and used to say to my dad, don't you want to sell your property to me so that my daughter can knock down your house and take over your property and she'd have a much bigger house? It'd be so nice. And we just talk to my dad and offer him pittance for the house. That's why he never moved out. And then when he passed away, she approached my then wife, and we shut her down immediately because my dad said, oh, Olivia Diabo's mom stopped by again. And we said, nope. With all we're going through with dad and probate and everything else, and everything that takes place, probate. I shouldn't have to say anything else. Probate in and of itself is a mountain to climb. So we shut Olivia Diabo's mom down. Don't bother us anymore. My ex-wife did a great job with that. So Olivia Diabo was living next door to me, and she used to be married to Patrick Leonard, who was with the band called, what were they called? Toy Matinee, that's right. And then Patrick Leonard produced Madonna and Brian Ferry and had a bunch of big records in the 80s. So all that I meant to say that because my dad, Olivia Diabo, Manfred Mann, oh, that's right. I'm on the radio tomorrow. So listen to music from Manfred Mann and some 80s stuff, some 90s stuff. It's all going to be played tomorrow on my show, which you can hear. There's a link at mikesdailypodcast.com. You might have to go back to the podcast that I did a couple weeks ago to find the link. There's in the blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. You'll find it. So, you're thinking about quitting your job. And maybe it's not just because your job is trying to make you do two jobs in one job. No, maybe it's because it's that great resignation happening. 95% of workers are currently considering changing jobs. This according to CNBC.com. And 92% are willing to switch industries to land a new position, said a survey by career site Monster. The pandemic has created an opportunity for so many of us to re-examine our life, our career, our everything. Ideally, you won't leave your job before you have a new employer. However, if you can't take it anymore and want to resign without another role lined up, at least make sure you have about 6 months of expenses saved up. People think the job search is going to take them a couple of weeks. It will not. It will take a couple of months. That's why it's important to have a plan. Identify your wants. The most important thing to figure out is what type of work you want to be doing, who you want to be doing it for, and how much you want to make. Now is an excellent time for people thinking of making a career change. So many companies are hiring and looking for transferable skills, so you don't necessarily need experience in that specific job. Once you know what you want to do, come up with a list of target companies and include the type of company, type of job, company size, and revenue. This has been a thing with me forever, is that when I'm busy with a job, I focus and put everything I have into the job. What I don't do is look for another job while I still have that job. I don't know what it is. I think I don't know, maybe I feel it's disrespectful to the company I'm working for. Also, I'm just spending so much time with the job that I'm doing that I don't realize, hey, maybe you should look around. Because when you are employed is when you are the most employable. You're the most you've got a lot of traits that you can use and harness to sell. But that's been my downfall, my foil to not think outside of the periphery. Change your resume each time you submit a new application so it matches the job description. Go line by line and read through everything they've listed. If it is a large list, pay most attention to the first 3 to 7 duties and 3 to 5 skills the company is looking for. If you are making a career change, highlight your transferable skills in an executive summary. Reach out to people you know that may be in the industry or company you'd like to join. Network. You are looking for the right fit, not just actual job, but company values, what they stand for, what their benefits are like. LinkedIn is very popular. This podcast gets posted to LinkedIn. It's a good way to find out if there are people you know at a given company. Just go to the company's page and it will show you what connections work for them or what connections work there. If you quit your job to look for another one, you don't necessarily have to worry about a gap in your resume. Gaps are not a deal breaker as they used to be. Right now in the pandemic, anything goes. Be prepared to answer questions about why you left your last employer, such as the desire to focus 100% on a job search. Pivot and flow the conversation into something like, this is why I'm so interested in your role. Demonstrate your enthusiasm and excitement. But that's all that gap was you spending 100% on a job search and focusing. Don't settle. As much as you want to escape your current job, don't settle when it comes to your next one. Know your worth heading into an interview. It's a job seeker's market right now. Remember, you are interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. Get the sense of the camaraderie during a group virtual interview and see if you have a rapport with your potential boss. Remember, if it doesn't seem like a good fit, you can respectfully withdraw your application or decline a job offer. It is interesting, though, as I've interviewed a lot of employees, potential employees, is that it is good to just talk, and the employer wants to know if you have the skill set that will ultimately make their job easier, because you're going to help them out. As I was discussing earlier, one of the questions an employer should ask you is if you double check things, because the people that don't double check make the employer's job more difficult. You get the idea. So we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, 10, the last place on earth. Look who's here. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I'm trying to hire somebody in the gift shop to sell all my snow globes and banjos. Oh, you have banjos too? Wow. Okay, maybe I should apply for that job. Are you interviewing? Sure, Mike Matthews. What's your skill set? I'm good at double checking. Can you play the banjo? No. Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. Oh, man, I just blew that interview. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I'm sorry to hear that you had such a rough week and you had a tough time adjusting to the booster and that you had stuck in a traffic jam. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I love all that sympathy and pity for me. That's all I wanted. A little pity. Next show, it'll be the wonderful pity. Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening. You can chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast has been. Oh my gosh, I think I got to stop now.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.